It's here, the night of WrestleMania. The card is stacked, with the most notable matches being Cody Rhodes versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the new and improved NXT Championship. It's established that whoever holds the title has a first-class ticket to a World Championship match against anyone of their choosing. After a back-and-forth battle, it was Shinsuke who took the win and would be the first in the cycle of the NXT Championship. The Shield would defeat the Good Brothers, and this would leave doubts about AJ's match with Bane later that night. Heading into the biggest opportunity in his career, Austin Aries decides to flip off the special guest commentator Bruce Campbell. That sure got under a few people's skin. Aries would get his comeuppance though, as he would be pinned by CM Punk, who retains his World Heavyweight Championship. After the match, Aries would bathe in the "you deserve it" chants from the crowd around him. But he took that as the fans saying, "You deserve better." He agreed to that sentiment, quickly rushing across the ringside area and blindsiding Bruce Campbell. It took several security personnel to pry him off the actor, and Shane McMahon, general manager of SmackDown at the time, would take certain notice. Main event time. Bane and AJ Styles, the breaker of men versus the phenomenal for the Universal Championship. This was an absolute war. Both men pulling out haymaker after haymaker, and even without the help from the Bullet Club, AJ Styles did the impossible. He fought off the forces of the Shield, outsmarted Bane and his men, and became the first man ever to pin Bane in a one-on-one contest. We had a new Universal Champion, but the Shield didn't look to be done yet. They surrounded the ring, and things looked dire for AJ. But instead of attacking, the trio check on their leader. Bane shoves them away, blaming his loss to AJ on their weakness and their incompetence. He especially blamed Roman for spearing him at the end of the match. It was time for punishment. But before Bane could do any further damage, Roman Reigns put a stop to it with a vicious spear from out of nowhere. Rollins and Ambrose were shocked, but they joined in regardless. One rebellious triple powerbomb was all it took to make a powerful declaration of freedom to the Liberator. The coming weeks were filled to the brim with tension. Fans awaited the fallout of what transpired at WrestleMania for what seemed like eons, but the first to make their voice heard was Roman Reigns. He and his brothers knew this was far from over. The only way all three of them could move on was if Bane was eliminated for good. Reigns would name himself the leader of the rebellion and challenge Bane one-on-one. No interferences, no excuses, just the big dog versus the Liberator. He would be fighting for his brothers and to rectify the time they have spent under his intimidation and fear tactics. Also, he could mold the hounds of justice into his little soldiers. The time for Bane's reckoning had come. The pay-per-view after WrestleMania was called Relentless, and this match would be the pre-main event. Could Roman be the one man to slay Bane once and for all? No, it wasn't even close. Bane beat Roman within an inch of his life. This wasn't a place for Superman to roam after all. When the match ended, Bane held Roman's unconscious carcass for his brothers to see. He expressed that it was such a shame and a waste of potential to do this to Roman, but he was now left with no choice. He was coming for each of them, and before the sun would set, he would destroy what he created. It started with Roman, so the question was, who's next? Is Bane your favorite wrestler yet?
I don't wanna fuck this bitch, she smell like poo-poo. Just shot at a black man, it was Chad Ochocinco. Finna go to the store to buy some Tampico.